Hello, my name is Rob Ciano, and welcome to Lesson 4 in the Yoga for Absolute Beginners video series from Rob Ciano Yoga. Today, we'll be going over Uttanasana, which is a standing forward fold, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, which is upward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, which is downward facing dog, and Parsvakonasana, which is the extended side angle posture. Let's get started. Standing forward fold is exactly how it sounds. You stand and fold forward. So here what I'm doing is I'm pressing into the big toe mounds of my feet. My legs are drawing together just slightly, and I'm just hinging at the hips, and I'll do this sideways so you can see, hinging at the hips with as flat of a back as I can, and letting my arms hang down in front of me. Now you can do a ragdoll version of this posture, bend the knees a little bit, link the arms together to create some weight and help draw yourself downward, and just sway your body side to side. This is a great warm-up posture. Maybe you bend one knee then the other and feel a stretch in the side of each leg as you do that. Or if you'd like to do a more dynamic version of the posture, you can start to take your hands toward the ground. If you can't reach the ground, maybe you take your hands behind your legs. But if you can, maybe you play with even interlocking the big toes with your peace fingers and just draw the elbows outward to draw you forward. Okay? And I'll show you from the front. My toes, I've hooked my toes with my fingers, and I'm just drawing my elbows outward to pull me deeper into the pose. You can also do a different version of the posture where you sort of stand on your hands, straightening the legs and again drawing outward. Now, if you can't reach the ground or you're nowhere near it, don't worry about it. When I first started practicing yoga, this was my forward fold. I had no flexibility. Yoga is about working towards something. And now, as you can see, I can put my hands under my legs, I can do all kinds of crazy things, and this is where I started. This was my forward fold. So don't feel bad if you see me doing something that you think you can never do. It's all about practice, working towards something, and moving forward. Now let's start on our dog poses, starting with Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Okay? So to get into this posture, I'm actually going to move through a vinyasa, which is a series of poses that are linked together. Okay? So I'm going to start out, and just like in Kumbhakasana plank pose, I'm going to stretch my heels back. I'm going to press into my pointer and thumb fingers, okay, and draw my hands together. I'm going to move through chaturanga, bending the elbows, and now I'm going to take the tops of my feet onto the mat, press into my hands, lift my chest, pressing into the tops of my feet. My thighs are up off of the mat, my chest is moving forward, my chin is up. This is Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog, okay? So in this posture, I'm feeling a bend in my back. It's a nice back bend. My core is engaged. My thighs are engaged. The tops of my feet are pressing down, and my shoulders are rolling down my back, okay? Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Also, similar to this pose, if your thighs were on the mat, this would be a high cobra pose, okay? Similar posture. The only difference is upward facing dog, thighs are up off the mat. Now to move into downward facing dog from here, press into the hands, roll over the toes, and all of a sudden you're in downward facing dog. Okay? So in this posture, again, shoulders rolling down the back, pressing into the pointer and thumb fingers, and I'm even clawing the mat a little bit here. Shoulders roll down the back and create a nice flat back, and my tailbone is turned up toward the sky. Okay? Really feeling the nice strength in this pose here. Your foundation is your hands and your feet, okay? And the expression in this posture, I would say, is the breath. And this is a great place to rest in the middle of your practice. If you'd like to have a breather in the middle of a practice, you can come into downward facing dog. You can also come into a child's pose, which is an excellent resting posture in yoga. I can hang out here all day. This is nice. If it's your first downward facing dog of the day, maybe you pedal the feet out a little bit, okay? And again, if you can't come into a super deep version of the posture, maybe this is your down dog, maybe your down dog is way the heck out here, you know what? That's okay. Yoga is all about working towards something new, okay? Our final posture for this video is going to be Parsvakonasana, which is an extended side angle. So to get into this posture, you set yourself up almost as if you're going into a warrior two. One foot is forward, and the back heel is spiraled down 90 degrees, okay? So from here, you can do a couple of things. You can place your front arm on your front knee, hips are out to the side, and you have one arm reaching up to the sky. You can also take that top arm, bring it over the top ear. You can stay here. If you'd like to go further, you can take your hand down onto the mat or onto a block. A block is great to use here. It's a great addition. You can be on the outside of your foot. Or if you're feeling really twisty and bendy, you can start working toward a twist. You can reverse the top hand, bring it behind the back. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you can take that hand in here on the inside of the leg, or if you're really open, if you're really feeling bendy and twisty, you can come into a bind in this posture, okay? Come out, take the hand down to the mat, maybe straighten the leg, feels good, show you on the other side. Starting off in your lunge, spiral the back heel down as if you're coming into a warrior posture. Maybe your arm is on the leg, arm reaching. Maybe you're coming over the head. Maybe you're on the mat. Maybe you're behind. Maybe a half bind. Maybe a full bind. Okay? So that's Parsvakonasana. We also did upward facing dog and downward facing dog and a standing forward fold. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.